We are on mute. Sorry, Pat.
Present. Larry Graham,
Present.
Dan Flagg,
Present.
Scott Libby,
Present.
and Joshua Spooner. I didn't hear from Joshua.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right. So we are also streaming live, so we're good to go.
Yep.
All right, the first item on the agenda then is the approval of the minutes of the February 10th, 2022 meeting. Is there any discussion on that, or does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none and seeing none, then I'll take a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. And I'm not sure,
This one's not doing anything.
Ron, I guess you're recusing yourself? So-
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't there.
Okay, thanks. All right. I think we have everyone, but was there anyone that opposes? All right, hearing none, it passes with one abstention.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I do think, just before I forget, there's one item that Rod is added to the workshops.
Addressing officer.
Addressing officer.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll have two workshops tonight, one on the housing density and one on addressing officer or addressing officer. So our public hearing this evening, Crooker Construction has submitted a proposed annual blasting permit for the quarries on Lewiston Road / River Road, tax map R02, lot 6 and 7. And I guess before we get started, Larry, did you want to ask anything of the board?
Yes, board members, I believe I am in a butter to this. If I can recuse myself, depending upon the will of the board.
Thoughts from the board?
I don't think he needs to.
Me neither.
Okay, all right. Ron, you're gonna recuse yourself regardless, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I think, why don't you stay with us, right?
Okay.
You need to. all right?
That I'll stay with.
All right, good. All right, thank you. So let's turn it over to, I'm not sure who's gonna be presenting, but maybe you can run that part of it, Rod.
Yeah, it looks like they're sharing their screen. If you want to introduce yourselves, we will, and then just step right into your presentation. We'll get to it. We cannot hear you. I don't know if. Okay. Doesn't say you're on me, but we cannot hear you. Let's make
Can
sure
you
you
hear
have.
us now?
Oh, yeah. If you could speak up just a little bit.
And can you get the volume up for us? Because we can just barely hear it.
Yeah, that's what they can do there.
I have a very soft voice, but fortunately, Dick does not. So
That's good. We couldn't hear you initially, but that's very nice. Thank you. And
Richard
please
Morgan,
introduce who you are, please.
Richard Morgan with Crookers. I will go through the review like we usually do, I assume first, for this past season, and then we'll get into the application. And if anybody wants to stop me at any time, please speak up. I will try to keep it short and brief and address any questions that we have. We had 15 events this last season. We had 118 seismograph records for that. We had an outside firm of Precise come in on October 21st to do monitoring at 3 locations to verify our setup, use of seismographs, and also set theirs approximately close to ours for a second set of records. We did have some days when we had scheduling problems. the COVID, with drivers having COVID and supply of materials being wrong on at least one occasion where we had to cancel and go on the next given day. On a blast day, the product shows up. We load the holes. Once the shot is loaded, we make the phone calls to a resident who's requested it. We also dispatch our people for seismographs. I think you have a site map along with the presentation. We have seismographs at the Manzo residence, at the Quarry Entrance, at the Roger Flag, and across the river at Jeff Bates. And the board has requested that we added in Mr. Backman across the river and Mr. Kells across the river along with Mr. Bates. I assume the board is going to want us to continue with that, but we'll go with that once we get into the nitty gritty. We didn't have any events that were outside Topsham's tolerances. The air blast stayed well below the 129. The ground vibration stayed below the 0.5 peak particle velocity. We have the OSM charts for each location. Those are the seismograph records you're looking on the screen. Now we're into the OSM. That's at the Tim Flag residence right there. You can see the line that starts at 0.5, goes across to 30 hertz, and then from 30 hertz goes up to 1.0. And you can see all the data was well below that. I do plot below a 0.1 just so people can see the vibration records that go down below the normal plot area. The next one was the Quarry Entrance. It's on Crooker property. Those at the Quarry Entrance. Then after that, we have the Jeff Bates on the other side of the river at Rocky Hill Estates. And then after that, we have Scott Manzo, who is also off the river road. That used to be the Tim and Sue Justice residence years ago. And then we have Kerry Kells, which is Carriage House Lane. They're close to 3,500 feet away at Kerry Kells. And then James Backman, that's one that attended our meeting here a few years back, and the board asked if we could go there and record it. The next chart is the noise level. The town level is 133, excuse me. The state level is 129. This year we did a little better. We stayed below those readings. It is a work in progress. I was meeting with some people today discussing some more things I would like to try to even reduce the noise level below where it is. After that, we go into the charts of the individual locations, which I'm going to skip through unless somebody has some questions of the actual events. You can see some places like the Tim Flags will have more than one seismic unit there. That's why some extra readings are plotted. Then we get into the ground. This doesn't take into account frequency like the OSM does, but this just is a pure plot of peak particle velocity for the 15 events. After that, some monitoring wells data that we have, and I broke everything down for each event. Any questions at all?
No, let me see, I'll kind of pull the board in a second, but do we have any people that would be attending the public hearing in the public? I'll still open up, I just.
There's no attendee, no one here, obviously, no one on Zoom.
Okay, all right, why don't I open it up, and I can't see everybody, but I think we have Scott, Ron's recused, so I guess Dan and Scott would be. Do either one of you have anything you'd like to question or any questions you have?
I have one, Don.
Okay, go ahead.
So on page 3 of the PDF of the application, the cover letter, the second paragraph from the bottom, it says, last sentence, annual turbidity readings were conducted on October 21st, 2021 and are included in the report. I didn't see the turbidity results in the report anywhere, unless I missed it.
It's not in this report, it's in the CV Mahar report that I give to the codes office every year. That's a
Okay.
copy of what we send to the Maine DEP. So that's in that report that the codes office has.
Bud has a copy of that in his hand here.
Okay. Isn't the board supposed to get a copy of that as well?
The board has never requested it. I started giving the board a copy of what we give the DEP a few years back, and I've just continued to do that.
Which is the report he just went through.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not noting anything that's out of the ordinary here, Dan. I don't know if you have a more specific question on that.
I just recall that there was some turbidity results last year that we took a look at the meeting. And I don't recall the specifics of which sites are monitored. Maybe, Dick, which sites are monitored for turbidity?
Okay, we monitor it, Tim Flags, Mr. Manzo's, Mr. Justice, across the river at Jeff Bates, and Morris Kraus at the entrance when we've got the water turned on.
So, yeah, the conclusion is that it meets the historical trends of what has been monitored. If you're interested in the Flagwell recorded average turbidity, no sample was collected at the Kraus well this past year. Their water had been shut off.
Okay, anything else, Dan?
No, that's it.
Okay, Scott, did you have anything?
Nope, just same question as wondering about the turbidity. I know, it hasn't always been in the presentation, but typically has been something that you guys have shown us, just that it's worth seeing, but as long as there's no issues there, I'm good.
The summary of the CV Mahar is worth the board getting a copy of. Dick, maybe we could note that for the upcoming year. They do a great job of just stepping through the introduction of what they do and then the conclusions of what they've monitored. It's worth the board. A good summary.
All right. Either one of you have anything?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right, I still need to open up a public hearing, which I will do. Public hearing is now open. We don't have anyone here from the public. Can you double check again? Sure. Make sure there's nobody that's.
It's the same number. We did have Josh Spooner show up on the board.
Welcome, Josh. Did you have anything?
I do not have anything. Sorry for joining late.
No problem.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we have no public on the Zoom, no public on or here. I guess while it's still open, anything else from the board before I close the public hearing?
I would just say, as somebody who's fairly close to the quarry and have been home quite often when the blasts occur, both well into the past as well as recently. And I would say Dick Morgan's doing a great job of minimizing the effect of the blasts into the neighborhood. I don't hardly feel them at all anymore as we did many, many years ago.
All right, thank you. All right, anything else before I close public hearing? Hearing none, public hearing is closed, and thank you for your comments. So Any other questions from the board? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Can I make another comment first?
Sure.
Okay, the town ordinance allows for time of blasting from 7 AM to either 5 PM or 7 PM. I'm not sure which. I would like our permit to be modified to 9 AM to 3. Nothing before 9 AM, nothing after 3. We're getting an awful lot of phone calls at 7:30 in the morning and late in the day, and even have had a few phone calls after we've shut down for the season. But no good blaster is going to shoot before 9 AM in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. So I'd like that duly noted in our permit, please.
Okay, so
So
I guess the question for you, Rod,
yeah,
because it's in the write-up here, that's not what the permit application is for. I know it has the.
well, so I think what Dick is asking to, when you make an affirmative vote, that you vote with that time frame
Okay,
attached to that affirmation.
Right,
okay,
we can include that in the conditions.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So to that end, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Pajupska Quarry blasting permit application and note that it's in compliance with the standards in the blasting ordinance, chapter 85, the standards in the zoning ordinance, chapter 225, section 57, extractive industry, as set forth in the findings of fact on pages 3 through 5 in the memo to the planning board from Ron Melanson, planning director, dated February 16th, 2022, with the conditions of approval 1 through 4 as noted on page 5 of said memo, and an additional condition of restricting blasting to between the hours of 9 AM to 3 PM.
Okay. Excellent. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Carrie is second. All right, to the board, is there any discussion?
Dan has his.
All right, Dan?
So do we want to, as one condition, repeat the monitoring this coming season at the Backman property, Kell's property, in addition to the
Yeah.
Bates property in Brunswick?
Good point. I made a note on the front of mine. I knew there was something I forgot. I think you asked about it, and we should continue the same monitoring that we've been doing this past year going forward.
Okay.
So does
And
that
my only
sound-
other comment, I don't have the list in front of me here, but just to clarify that the blasting is occurring, I think in accordance with their map on lot 6.
I see a head shaking, yes. Okay, so Scott, and I apologize, I meant to, I wrote it down and I had flipped the pages. Can we also add a condition, if you don't mind modifying your motion and you modifying your second, that would say for them to continue the current monitoring sites that they have been doing? And Dan, do you want them specifically named? If so, I need the applicant to tell us what those are.
So,
I think same words.
yeah, I think
Same.
that's all understood. It's all in this year's application.
Okay, all right,
We'll go with Dan flag, so.
that's what it says.
Oh, okay.
So Scott, are you okay with adding that as a condition?
Yes,
Okay, and you're okay with the second? All right, any other discussion?
Where we added essentially condition 5 for the 9 AM and 3 PM, should we say Monday through Friday? I know that's part of the ordinance. So do we have to clarify that, where we've added hours?
I don't think so, because it's this Monday through Friday, and it also excludes holidays, and the holidays are listed, right?
Yeah.
And that's already in the
Already in the performance.
performance standards, so I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah, it's by the, it's their violate the ordinance if they don't do it.
Yeah.
Do that redundant, put a condition on it.
All right. So everybody on board, are there any questions before I take a vote? All right, hearing none. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Aye.
I,
All right, thank you. So I'll say, is there anyone in opposition? But I think I heard and saw a unanimous other than Ron who recused himself. All right, it's passed. Thank you, sir. And again, thank you for the job you do.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Dick.
Hopefully we'll see you next year.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I
So
move-
moved.
We have a move and a second here at the table.